Hi guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. This is a little different, huh? We're downstairs again in the basement. Not because, the setup is down here. I have a little bit of a different setup down here. I have sort of a guitar tech, bluthery, using that term loosely, setup. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, so here's the setup. We have a bench in which I can work on guitars. Being an owner of many guitars and one who likes them to be in tip-top playing shape and has typically not been able to afford to pay somebody to do that, you end up kind of learning how to do it. And it's kind of turned into a little bit of therapy for me. And for other reasons, I'm trying to fill my time with productive things productive to me. And so I've been leaning into this, and I figured, why not make a video? Let's just make a series. I don't know, we'll see. I have a bad habit of continuing series, but we're gonna do like a what's on the bench type of a thing. So anyway, I'm not even working on one of my guitars. I'm working on my son Anthony's guitar. He has a Squier Jazzmaster that just needed a little bit of TLC, some cleaning, a fret job, well, fret polish, intonation, the typical stuff. So I did that for him. I did take a few before pictures, but I didn't think I was going to make a video of this. And, if this turns into a thing, I'll get a little better at this. Anyway, let's take a look. There's nothing to compare it to. So, I'm rambling already. What are we doing? What do we got here? We have like I said, a Squier, a Japanese made, or a Chinese made. Oh, it was crafted in China. Meticulously crafted in China. Squier Jazzmaster, Squier by Fender, Jazzmaster, part of the Affinity series. It's your bargain basement kind of entry-level guitar, if you will. I'm maybe a step up above entry level. Anyway, I'm not Trogley. This is not Trogley's guitar show, so I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's looking pretty good. I'm not sure how well this is going to translate with the lighting and small sensor on this camera, but we're giving her a go. Got some customization. The nice kind of retro looking graffiti stick figure sticker. Stick figure is, ironically enough, one of my favorite bands. But the boy's been brainwashed by his dad, so he's also a fan. Actually, the whole family's kind of a fan of the band. And it bonds us and brings us together, so that's great. What do we do with this? Like I said, fret polish. I took some naphtha, cleaned the neck really, really well. It was pretty grimed up, front and back. Then I have these different grit scouring pads from coarsest to finer. I've seen a couple videos with the homies over at StewMac use the scouring pads, and so I got a set of them and gave it a go on a guitar that I'm working on, rewiring and cleaning and getting back in playing shape. Not this one, but a different one. And it did a phenomenal job. Just like going through the grits. The neck was great. It was clean. It was you're kind of like starting from a good base, like a fresh, clean slate. And it does kind of buff up the frets. If you think about it, you take the grits, and I have everything taped off when I do this. Not the fretboard, but the pickups and whatnot. But this isn't steel wool, so we don't have to worry about that. But, we take the pads and go this direction for X amount of time and go through the varying grits and you get a really kind of clean, polished look. And then even the frets look polished, but you got to think about it, the scratches are going with the grain of the wood and against the grain of the fret, if there were grain, against the grain in regards to what way the string wants to bend and slide over the fret. You want it to not go. You don't want scratches going across your fret. You want to buff with the fret. So that's where fret erasers come into play. You know, I don't care about whatever debates out there. I bought a set of StewMac fret erasers, and it goes from 220 grit to all the way up to 8,000. So we got 220, 400, 800, 1200, 2000, 4000, 8000. What I did on this is I ended up using these fret protectors or fingerboard protectors on this neck, and it ended up being a bit of a pain in the ass. The previous guitars I've worked on of mine, I've taped up the neck, and while that is tedious and meticulous and time consuming, it ends up yielding better results for the fret erasers, and I don't have to worry about gouging or scratching anything. These, especially these cheap ones that I bought cheap ones. They're rough on the inside, and I ended up, if they shifted a little bit, they would scratch. So that's a no-go. So I'm going back to taping. And I use the tape and those in a combination together when it comes to actually buffing the frets with like a rotary tool. And I know that's kind of frowned upon oftentimes with higher end luthiers, and I get it because you can really fuck things up. But I got tape, and then I use the fretboard protectors, and so we got the old Harbor Freight special, the Bauer cordless Dremel alternative. This thing is pretty rad. I've done 2 guitars on one charge, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. It gets bogged down if I push down too hard. You shouldn't be pushing, Nick. I know. You know, shit happens. But yeah, this is a great little investment. And I use some buffing wheels with the Music Nomad Freen or Frine or F-R-I-N-E or Frine or the Fren-E or F-Rine. It's just fret polish. We use the fret polish, buff it up. What I'll end up doing is I'll go across, like, if there's 5 speeds, we'll do 10 to 15 seconds, speeds 3, 4, and 5. And it works pretty good. It's been working pretty good, and it's been leaving nice, smooth, silky smooth frets, and they just glide. The string just glides right over them. And it's like, take one of your current guitars, and now, even if you haven't given it a proper setup or a little bit of love in a while, and those frets are getting a little dingy, when you bend, you can hear the string against the fret. These are silent now. So, yeah, we cleaned up the neck. I also put on some Stephen, my good buddy, my best friend, Stephen Barton. One of the many wonderful men in my life. Stephen Barton gave me a set of these Wilkinson tuners, and they didn't fit any of my particular builds or guitars, but they worked on this, and it was an upgrade from the Chinese handcrafted ones. They weren't very good. They're better at other things than making those tuners, at least for this particular guitar. So I swapped those out. They do have the varying pull pieces, which is interesting. Like there's the first, yeah, they're kind of cool. Seem like good tuners. I'm noticing there's a little bit of a haze on some of these parts. And then, so what else did we do? Tuned it up, checked the, what did we do? Checked intonation, checked the nut height, checked our string height, checked our neck relief. Since I'm not a professional luthier, I'm a huge fan of the music Nomad stuff. I'm not affiliated with them. They didn't send me anything. I've unfortunately bought all of this stuff slowly but surely over the course of like 2.5 years. More, actually. This is the go-to, the big guy, or not the big guy, like the main kind of piece de resistance. You have varying sizes for nuts and washers and whatnot, you know, like tightening stuff like this. Wrong size. There we go. Tighten that up. Oh, look at that, kneaded it too. You know, you have this for stuff like this. So anyway, and then just all sorts of different little bits. Not sure how close you can get there, sorry. Different, so this, you have this, and it fits into there, and you have basically have a screwdriver, hey, with replaceable bits, or interchangeable bits, you know, and you can do your screwing. So that's a nice little kit that I use to work on my guitars. And then this here is different. This is the truss rod kit with different Allen wrenches and truss rod wrenches, and this big old guy so you can turn the posts on your hardtail piece. Comes in handy. Look at this. They're getting some free advertisement. And then this is the, probably a real luthier's fucking rolling their eyes at this, but it's all good. This is what I use to, I mean, I know the classic ways. I know how to, the touch and with your finger and your paint, like at 12th, yeah, I know how to do that. I've done it before. These just make it a little bit quicker, and it's like duplicatable results every time, and I'm a nerd and also in a hurry, but also want to do a good job, so these little kits are nice. You know, we have a string height gauge, and you can use it to check the action of the string, and then check the height at the 12th fret for the, you know, and there's a little process for each one, and they got a cute little instruction book, but it works out awesomely, and I'm doing a horrible job of explaining it. And then you have your different feeler gauges that aren't covered in grease, which is nice, and fretboard radius checker. Actually, this is so that, you know, you figure out what your fretboard radius is, and then you know, you can adjust the radius of your strings at the bridge. I'm doing a shitty job at explaining this stuff. Anyway, yeah, so I use all this accoutrement to set this thing up, and she's playing great, and I'm pretty stoked. It's nice and clean, it plays nice, it's smooth, the intonation is spot on, and it's staying in tune. Speaking of staying in tune, we put Elixir 10-46s on this. Now, that's not Anthony's necessarily preferred string gauge your type, but this is what I had because this thing is tuned up to E, and it's playing pretty well. They might be a little light. I'm trying to go lighter when it comes to strings. He might be annoyed with it, but and I use Elixirs because I have that horrible acidic hand sweat. He doesn't necessarily, but this will last him forever because that dude don't change the strings. String stretcher. This Steven got me this. This thing is dope. What you do is got this little lip at the front. You put it under, and then you just kind of up and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because these things are already stretched and I've already tuned. This thing is playing great. So you just go up the string and give a little push, and it just gently stretches them across the length of the string, and it seems to help with stability a little bit, getting it a little more stable quicker after you do a string change. That's it. I'm down in, this is again down in the basement. The old setup used to be right over there. Ooh, behind that curtain. This was a giant mess. We cleaned it up. This used to be where my tools were. Got a new bench, Costco special. Tools are over there, and then rolling toolboxes right there. So everything is clean and organized for the most part. I got a few more things to go through. We're purging. Anyhow, I was able to then, and that left space to open. That opened up space for me to have a proper spot to work on guitars. Because again, it's kind of becoming a fun hobby to fill any sort of time that would be wasted on a screen. And, you know, I get to maintain my guitars, and I like maintaining my guitars. Yeah, again, I don't know how this video is going to turn out. Oh yeah, what else do we do? I use, again, the Music Nomad stuff. F1 oil for the fingerboard. Does a really good job. We got the Gobi Labs guitar polish to give it a nice kind of initial clean. I didn't end up polishing this or buffing it or anything because it's kind of like a punk rock guitar, you know. He's got a sticker on it. I don't want to wreck anything. The important thing is the neck feels great. The neck is clean. Everything is feeling good, and this thing we can start jamming over here. We got a little jam space over there with the E-kit and everything, and it's pretty rad. Let's take a look. So we got a kit, guitar rack. Yeah. I don't know how much you could see, but yeah, we got a little jam spot. Pretty fun. All right. I've been blathering on. I got some more guitars to work on, so I'll make some more of these videos, maybe. We'll see. We'll try and improve on the process. So